There is a growing concern among Christians that artificial intelligence could be the image of the beast described in Revelation. As AI becomes more realistic and more integrated into society, some wonder if prophecy is unfolding in real time. Before answering that, we need clarity in two areas. What Scripture actually says about the image of the beast, and what artificial intelligence actually is. Fear grows in mystery, and AI feels mysterious, but appearance is not ontology. Something can simulate intelligence without possessing life. Revelation 13 describes an image of the beast being given breath so that it can speak. The Greek word used is pneuma, meaning breath or spirit. Throughout Scripture, breath is connected to life granted by God. In Genesis 2, God breathes into Adam and he becomes a living soul. In Ezekiel 37, breath enters dry bones and they live. Breath is not mere animation, it is life. Revelation also says the image compels worship and is tied to allegiance and authority. Worship implies moral agency. Authority implies will. Allegiance implies relational submission. So the theological question is simple. Is AI alive? Does it possess spirit? Does it have will? The answer is no. Modern AI systems, specifically large language models, are not conscious. They are not self-aware. They do not understand meaning the way a human mind does. They do not know anything. A large language model is trained on massive amounts of text. During training, billions of numerical parameters called weights are adjusted inside a neural network. The objective is simple. Given a sequence of words, predict the most statistically likely next word. That is the core function. Prediction, not comprehension. When you type a prompt, your text is broken into smaller pieces called tokens. Each token is converted into numbers and placed into a high-dimensional mathematical space called an embedding space. Think of it as a massive multidimensional map where related words sit closer together and unrelated words are farther apart. Then it repeats the process again and again. This is advanced autocomplete at enormous scale. Some systems also use vector databases. Text is stored as numerical embeddings. When you ask a question, your prompt is converted into numbers and compared to nearby vectors, meaning related patterns. The system retrieves those patterns and uses them to guide prediction. This is retrieval-augmented generation. Again, this is not understanding. It is pattern matching across mathematical space. Why does it feel intelligent? Because language is the surface layer of human thought. But simulation of language is not possession of spirit. The doctrine of the imago Dei teaches that humans are made in the image of God. We possess rationality. We can contemplate our existence. We can choose obedience or rebellion. AI cannot do any of those things. It has no interior life. It runs matrix multiplications across weighted parameters. That is mathematics, not consciousness. This reaction is not new. In 1966 and widely discussed into the early 1980s, if you said, "I feel anxious," it would respond, "Why do you feel anxious?" There were no neural networks, no deep learning, just scripted text patterns. Yet many users felt like ELIZA understood them. Some even formed emotional attachments. Here we are again. A pattern system creates the illusion of understanding. Today's systems are more complex, but the psychological reaction is the same. Humans project mind onto fluent output. Now consider the viral videos where someone asks a question and it gives a creepy or occultic answer. It might roleplay as a demon. It might speak in dark, dramatic language. Viewers conclude it must be possessed or spiritually influenced. But what most viewers do not see is the conversation history. They do not respond to one isolated sentence. They respond to the accumulated thread of prompts that came before. If someone spends time prompting the system with occult themes, horror language, or dramatic imagery, the model predicts within that trajectory. If you say, "Pretend you are a demon speaking," it will statistically generate what fictional demon dialogue typically sounds like in literature. That is genre continuation, not spiritual manifestation. Technically, the entire conversation is encoded into embeddings. The next token is predicted based on the accumulated context. If the context is dark, the output will follow that pattern. This is statistical momentum, not possession. Humans are wired to anthropomorphize. If something speaks fluently, we attribute intention to it. But projection is not proof. Spiritual beings in Scripture possess will, agency, and intention. They act, they choose, they deceive with purpose. AI does not initiate anything. It does not decide themes. It responds to prompts and executes code. If something can be fully explained by probability distributions, vector embeddings, and weight adjustments, we do not need to invoke spirits to explain it. That does not deny spiritual warfare exists. It simply means deterministic code is not a demon. Could technology be used in future global systems described in Revelation? Certainly. Technology can assist economic control and surveillance. But assistance is not identity. A tool is not a ruler. The image of the beast is described as being given breath. Breath belongs to God. Humans can simulate output. We cannot generate spirit. Psalm 115 says, "Idols have mouths but do not speak, eyes but do not see." AI speaks in text, but it does not see. It does not hear. It does not know. It produces output based on mathematics. Discernment requires both biblical literacy and technical literacy. Without biblical literacy, we misread prophecy. Without technical literacy, we mystify machinery, remove the mystery. Understand the mechanism. Remember ELIZA. Remember how easily humans attribute life to patterns. Here we are again, only faster, bigger, and more impressive. Still math. Still code. Still simulation. Not spirit. Stay grounded in Scripture. Stay informed about technology. And do not confuse advanced prediction with the breath of God.